Hello everyone, Mr. Knorr here, and welcome to an overview of Day 1 Gravity Racers of our LEGO Challenge Camp. I'm using an iPad with the student app to access Canvas. So it might look a little bit different if you're using a computer. Just know that I'm using an iPad. So today's objective is to design a gravity racer. We're going to start by just building a standardized chassis and then using that as our baseline to then make modifications, add attachments, redesign, and then compare to see if they're any faster. Now, a gravity racer works by using gravity to accelerate. So there's no other form of propulsion or acceleration other than gravity. So no motor, no balloons or rubber bands or anything that's going to propel it forward other than the force of gravity. So you're going to need a couple things today. You're going to need the Legos that we provided. You're going to need like a piece of cardboard, wood, if you have maybe like a steep street that you live on or a driveway, that would work too. But you're going to need some kind of inclined plane, some kind of slope that you're going to race these cars down. You could just kind of open up like an Amazon box and use the cardboard, or maybe you have a long piece of wood that will be perfect for this. And then feel free, as always, to add extra Legos. So if you have extra Legos at home, or you could use extra Legos that are part of that ASU kit. All right, we're going to go through the 4 steps right after we talk about the engineering design process and a little history of gravity racers. So in each lesson, we're going to follow the engineering design process. For most activities, we've already kind of defined the problem and have the requirements already specified, so we kind of jump right into this midsection right here where you are brainstorming, evaluating, and choosing solutions, developing prototypes, testing those, and then going back and doing it again and again until we like the results that we're seeing, and then we communicate those results. So just know that when we talk about the engineering design process, these are the steps that we're talking about. So there's a history of gravity racers. You guys can read through this. I recommend clicking on the links. There are some videos. The soapbox racing from the Smithsonian goes all the way back with some old-timey footage. That's pretty fun. Red Bull has a soapbox race that they do every single year. It's hilarious. You should check it out. Lots of crashes and fails in those videos. So check it out. But there is a history of people doing soapbox derbies. And the history of gravity racers, I'm sure, goes back to when the wheel was first invented. And they noticed that, hey, when you're on a downhill slope, gravity is going to accelerate your object moving forward. So don't think that it just started in 1933. That's when the official soapbox derby started. All right, there is a digital notebook for this, so if you want to take notes, use this in order to help you with your testing or managing the different steps. You can click here. This will force you to make a copy. You are going to need a Google account in order to do that, just FYI. There's also a science extension if you want to learn more about the science of gravity racers. These were developed by a middle school science teacher I work with and are usually designed for older students, but that doesn't mean that our younger students won't be able to do them. You might just need a little bit of help from your parents. All right, step 1 today is going to be build the 2 basic chassis. So we're building 2 identical gravity racers. A chassis is basically kind of the frame of the car. So the wheels, the axles, and the body of the car. So, no windows, no doors, no seats, just the chassis. You can use the PDF right here to open the building instructions, or if that doesn't work for any reason, there's an alternative link to my Google Drive and you can download those. All right, when you set up your test and do this, please don't add any Lego to these yet. We just want to test the basic chassis first, and then you can add to that. So when I did it at my house, I just used kind of like an Amazon box and propped it up. I put a book down so that they rested on the book, and then lifted the book up and the gravity erasers went down. It was kind of a tie each time, and so I started putting my camera at the end and doing recording in slow motion. So that's something that you could try to do if you don't have enough of a ramp in order to really figure out who's winning. So you want to establish a baseline, and a baseline is basically the data that we're going to compare things to later. So it kind of gives us a measurement so that we know, hey, if I add a bunch of Lego to it, is it going to go faster or slower than the baseline test? And so it's important to establish that baseline just so that we know if our modifications are working or not. If you need any help with your testing, you guys can check out my video. I kind of upgraded to a nice long piece of wood here and recorded some things in slow motion. So you guys can check out my sample test here if you need help with that. All right, and then comes the fun thing. After you have a baseline, now we can modify and then test them against kind of the basic car and see which one is faster. So it kind of depends on the length of your ramp, whether or not aerodynamics or adding weight to the front or the back is going to make a difference. But have fun. See if you can play around and make a car that goes faster than the basic chassis. All right, with each day we do ask that you share your discoveries with us. So anything from just taking a picture of what you built to making a full-on video. I like to use Apple Clips to make movies, and so you can check out my example of what a nice little share video might look like. So if you really want to take some time and do a good job sharing what you've learned in our camp, I highly encourage it. They're fun to watch and fun to see what you guys are able to do. But if you don't want to do something as complicated as this, we ask that you at least take some pictures, please, so we can see what you're doing and what you've been able to make. When you are all done and you're ready to share, you're going to click next. My canvas looks a little different because I'm a teacher, but you will have the ability to submit text. You could put a website link if you want. Like if you upload to YouTube, you could give us a YouTube link. The media recording will just use the device that you're on. It will just start filming right onto the device, so you could do that. Or if you had like Apple Clips or a different way of making a movie, you can click on File, Upload, and you can upload pictures this way, you can upload videos this way. So we ask that you please just upload, and we're excited to see what you guys are able to make. All right, that's it from day one. Hopefully you guys learned all about gravity racers today, and don't forget, have fun.